Okay. So today we are going to start with server control today. Now in this server controls, we have two types. One is called HTML server control and second is web server control. Two different things. How does it make a difference? I'll just give you a small overview here. One, HTML server control. And second, I said web server control. And here, these are the controls provided by this namespace system.web.ui.html control. Here, web server control system.web.ui.web control. Two different namespaces. One is HTML control, second is web control. And second thing, if you go to the project, you can definitely see those things available. I better use website instead of going with web application. Working remains same as it. Yes. Now go to toolbox and you can experience all these things. View, toolbox. Yes. Category wise, you see, category wise. Data. These all controls we are going to discuss in our what do you call ADO.NET. Validation. We have a separate topic. Validation control. Navigation control. Login control. Web part. Then Ajax. Dynamic data. bootstrap, standard, yes. HTML controls here, general. These are all the categories. Every category we have some controls. So our focus obviously will be on first to discuss with standard controls. Standard. This is our topic. Here we have a list of controls. Okay, list of controls. Okay, now in this list of controls, now what we want to do is we will learn first about label control. Label. How you want to design that depends on you now, right? Either you write a tag. Okay, I'll put two label control so that you should not have any confusion. I'll do that. Two label controls I'll keep. One by writing a code I'll keep. Second the second one I'll try to put with drag and drop. Two things I'll do. How would you do? Same. All server controls, especially web server controls, they start with ASP. Column, label. And how do you make this as server control? By writing this statement, run at server. This statement makes your control as what? Server control. Run at server. Then text is equals to some name I'll give. Some name. Let's call this as first name. First name. Then after I'll give close. But only two properties I get. Text and ID. Now, text and run it. Go to design window. You can see there is a label placed. Yes. Go to source again. You want another control. Break line. You want to have font and all to increase. Then you can try all this. Font names or font size equal to large, extra large. Then again I say font names equal to some font name I'll give. Font name. So that too, how would you give your font name? I'll better come like this. Format name. Where the format font style is there. If not, you copy from here. Notepad. Copy the font names, whatever are there in my system. Font. Here are there. I'll use this. Engraves empty. Copy this. Close notepad. Paste here. Yes. Font name. Save this. Go to design window. Yes. First name. Instead of using extra large, I'll just try to compress. Here I'll write large. Enough. Now just go back. Yes. Little slight change. Now, do you want to have one more label? Go for it. As usual. Go to design window. Then you can say toolbox, label. Yes. Go to properties of the control. Here I can give last name, font, size, large, font name. I copied that last time. Over. And you can see that. Then, after giving this font name, text last name I give. Foreground color, background color, all those things you are interested, you try. This is only for reference. Back color here. Yes, here also same. Back color. Yes. Source window. Same thing, had it. But one additional thing, you have even something called ID, which I didn't give default. If you're interested, you give here ID. This I call label 2. This is helpful only when you want to go with coding. Coding on the control. ID equals to double quotes label 1. Save. Design. Yes. Execute. Yes, two labels have been displayed with background color, even with some font. Now, what do you notice is when this label controls are executed by web server, when label controls are executed by web server, it will make those controls understand to browser. Who will make? I'm saying server will make understand what server controls to whom. HTML. That's nothing but browser. Label is now executed by server, but and that label should have some output. Now that output comes on browser now. So now we are expecting. So how does it make understand now? Answer. Label control server will make browser understand with span tag. Recollect HTML. Span tag. Now how to justify that it is going to make browser understand with that controls? How do you know? So simple. Right click in the browser, click on view source, and you can experience here span tag. How server will make browser understand about label control. Answer is through span tag. Close. Now you want to change the text dynamically? Yes, you can change the text if you're interested. This label, currently I gave last name. Instead, I would like to change. How do you want to change? F7. It opens code behind file. And you write label2.text is equal to address. Save. Okay, run the code. So here I'm trying to change. Here I'm trying to change label to text at runtime. At runtime. So even if I run my code, here, design window, first name, last name. But when I run my code, you can find in place of last name, you'll get address. And both of them, browser understands or server will make browser understand through which tag? Pan tag. Pan tag. So label will be made understand to browser using span tag. So interview is all about this only. So we don't focus only on server control. You should know how your server makes browser understand about that control. That also matters. Okay, another interesting thing. For example, now what I will do in this code, if I go to coding part, especially to this coding part, here label2.text I said, no? Address, and I'll write here city, then I'll write here country. Three options I gave: address, city, country. And what I wantedly do, I don't want to go with the fonts and all. Normal text I'm sufficient, because something important to learn in this scenario. For that reason, I remove it. Here also, I remove font name. Not interested. Remove. Okay. Let's go back again. Okay. Now, when I run my code, you can experience this. Yeah, browser gets open and you got your text. Right? And one more interesting thing, what I would like to do is close. Here, go to default.aspx.cs. The font background color also, I'm not interested. Delete. Here, background color. Delete. Again, go to design window. Okay. Run the code as well. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do, by going to this code behind file, code behind file, city is there, city. Before that city, I wantedly will keep HTML tag B, and I close it here. B. Yes. Now run the code and focus on city. Yes. It has been bold. The text which is written in double quotes under B tag, it has been displayed, or it has bold your what? Text. But actually what I need is, I don't want the text to bold. No, I'm not interested. I don't want the text to bold. Then what do you want? Instead of making bold, I want to get that B as it is in the output should display the tag as it is in the output. Same B, city, B. It should not consider it as HTML tag. It should not consider it as what? HTML tag. So for that reason, what we are supposed to do now is, here I write what? Server. We have object, server object, dot HTML encode. Yes, encode. And this total string you give in brackets. Now see the difference. Save, run the code. Yes. Now it doesn't bold your text. Rather, it displays B as a normal text. Normal text. So it is not considering even it as HTML tag. It is not considering even what I said. Right? So what is happening? That B, earlier it was making your text bold. Now you can see that same B has applied as what? Normal text. That's less than B. That less than becomes special character. B becomes a character. Greater than symbol becomes one character. Okay, go to now go to view source of the same content and see what it does there. Right click, view source. Now see the content. Come down here. Address ampersand LT, then city ampersand GT. Yes. Anand, what is this? What is this called in HTML? What is this called? Ampersand LT, ampersand GT. What is it called? HTML में? Here. HTML page consists of what and what? HTML page consists of what and what? What are the things that are available in a HTML page? HTML page is a collection of what? HTML page. You see, you're talking about this programming language. Programming language will have source code. Yes. What are they called? Correct, Srinivas. Open and close tags. What are they called? Correct. Your answer is correct. But exact term say, what is it called? Open and close tags. What are they called? Beautiful. Elements. And what next? Elements. And what is the other one? HTML page contains elements. Correct. That open close tag is called element. And elements and one more word is there. Entities. Elements and entities. Entities. HTML page consists of two things. Elements and entities. So now these are being because I have used which option then? Server.html encode, because I have written this. So this is all considered, this hyphen LT, hyphen GT, these all have become what? They have become entities. Okay. And you have to be very clear in working of ASP.NET, okay? Should be very clear. Then only makes a point in going with the MVC. Little advanced it is. But lot of new technologies, new things Microsoft has made available for what? MVC. So you should go with a regular practice on ASP.NET so that smoothly you can learn and understand the concepts related with MVC. And to maximum things in MVC are related with maximum things. Even what I have seen is you never leave C# these three topics. You always at the back of them. Delegates, anonymous methods, lambda expression. Keep on reading, keep on reading, keep on reading. Unless you don't feel you're comfortable, that you don't feel that you're in a position to convince, or you're in a position to make yourself comfortable in understanding those three topics. Keep on practicing, keep on practicing. Go through my notes, go through the video, go through an implementation, put it in a practical example. Somewhere still you feel that you got struck up, update me. I'm there to guide you. I'm going to cover it in another example. But that is very much needed even in MVC. Maximum topics, I mean, so like little advanced of ASP.NET you find in MVC. Come back. Next part. Now there is another control. Let's go back. Okay. Here I keep source window. Now in source window, I would like to have one more control. One more control. And what is that control? See here. Now, here I write. We'll do one thing. Here you don't find a difference. Better I show you in that way. Go to design window. First name, last name is there. Definitely, I would like to go with another approach. Go to toolbox. Now there is a control called literal control. Drag and drop. Literal control. Because why I said you all those points, to make you feel comfortable, to make you feel, like relax on understanding the topics. You're not going with classroom training. You're going with online training. You're virtual. I can't see you and you can't see me. Everything is going virtual. So point is that videos are there, notes are there with you. I want you to utilize this time and make full of practice. Once you make yourself, and especially for I'm talking about Anand. Once you feel once you're in a good company, placed in a good company, then that again you don't find time to come back and study, because already that office work itself will be so they put a pressure at an extreme level, that itself to digest that your 2 days of weekends will be over. Saturday Sunday You just try to get relaxed of those 5 days. Again, Monday will come first. So when you have good time, put your dedication, full of practice. Keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing. It will definitely, it will make you feel bored. I'm not saying like, but why will you do in the same? Why will you do in the same way? Definitely we won't. Why will you do? So it's better you have to do for different. Go for another different examples. Do you understand? So you should. Yeah, the question the way they ask, about this pan tag, this pan tag. The way they ask question is uh, label control. Label control. What is rendered to client? Label control. What is rendered to client? Or they can say what is rendered of label control to client. So answer is pan tag. So now with this you might have understood that just knowing server control is not enough. Just knowing server control is not enough. As a web developer, now I'm talking about not web designer. You are web developer. You are the one who is going to write logic for web web application. You are the one who is going to write logic. Web designer will not have logic. Web designer knows how best and the what best way he can make a page look beautiful. The best way of presentation of web page. You might have even experienced, even if you go to websites, there are millions and millions and millions of websites. You find millions of websites, and you can very clearly notice in those websites that you never find the similar display of web pages. Similar. If you have 10 lakhs websites, 10 lakh websites, content will differ, presentation will differ. So that who will take care of? Designer will take care. Okay, do you understand? So server control you should know. Parallelly, you should know what and how it makes browser understand about it. That also you should know. Because very recently, this was to one of my students. They asked a query. No, we don't expect, they asked like, what is contains method? C sharp interview. What is contains method? What it does? All it is, and see, they're not talking about even a class. They're not even talking about a class. So now you can say like this: out of, if it is like 100% subject, in that 100%, somewhere point one point one not 1% may we studied about contains. So but if you practice well, definitely you will be in a position to recollect. Definitely you can find a perfect answer for that query. Contains method. We covered in array list, as well as we discussed this in hash table. Array list also we covered, and hash table also we covered. Okay, right. Now going further for the next part, as I already placed literal, and I go to properties. See the difference now. Label and literal. Select this control. You remember, no? Properties F4. Okay. And you see here, you see the difference. If I go to label and if I say F4, very big list of properties we have. Big list. We have lots of properties available. Lot of properties. But when you go to literal and if you go to properties, very limited properties we have for literal. Very limited properties. Okay, let's do one thing. Text. Here I write like something called email and phone. Email and phone. That is text I give. But with that itself, you might have understood. Yes, it is changed. But the problem is now I can't change the font of the text. I can't change background color of the text, foreground color of the text, border for the text, font size for the text, font name for the text. These things are restricted for literal control. Literal control. Can you change the text dynamically? Possible. Because these all things are restricted for literal control, it is called lightweight control. Label and literal makes one difference. Literal is what? Lightweight control. Do you see here literal control, where it is available? It is a class. Every control is a class. Recollect please, Windows programming, C# may be studied. Every control is a class. And where it is? System.web.ui.web control. Introduction I covered today. System.web.ui.web control. In that you have this control called literal. But now question is, how does server make browser understand about this literal control? How does it make? Simple. It will make browser understand about literal control through static text. Through static text. Yes, right click, view source. Here. No tag is attached. At least for labels, pan is attached, pan tag. But for literal text, there is no tag at all. So that's the reason I said it's static text. Okay, that makes a difference between label and literal control. That makes a difference. Label and literal control. They approach in a different way. Can we write normal text also? Normal. Can I write like this? Like I write pay website under construction. Here I write inconvenience regretted as website is under construction. Some text I give. Run the code. This is also static text only. That's what you have done. Same message. Right click on view source. You'll have the static text only because you yourself have written static. Even output is also static text only. This is also static text, but static text through what do you call static text through what? Literal control. This is direct static text. Then again a point. What is the difference of giving static text with literal control and only static text? How does it make? I mean, what in what way you make a difference of these two? How? So this makes another point. If you write static text, na, as I've written here, this cannot be changed at runtime. We cannot change at runtime. No, not possible. We cannot change. Acha, then what about this? What about this literal? Yeah, I can change at runtime. I can write a code for this because there is an ID available. There is an ID available. So at runtime I can change. Currently it is email and phone. No? Currently it is email and phone. That I can change. I can change. How do I change? Literal one dot text is equals to. I'll write. Then something called date of birth. The message I give to differentiate. How does it make a point in working? Yes. Okay. Save this. Run the code. Date of birth will be there. Yes. Date of birth. Runtime I can change. Right click. View source. Date of birth. Runtime change value. And this is static text. This is also static text only. Currently it is static text because I can't do formatting. For this also I can't do formatting. But at least there makes a difference again that text which you are the text whichever you are providing in literal control, dynamically it can be changed. But if you directly write a static text in the page, that cannot be altered. It will be exactly the way that you have specified. Are you all following me what I said? Like, I just have said that literal control and static text both are doing same job. But again in that there is a difference. That's what I'm saying. Again between those there is a difference. And as you know very well, every page which you design in your ASP.NET or every web form that you have designed in your C#.NET, without labels, without literals, the work is not done at all. Somewhere or the other, you require to have things available for what? Ah, but if you compare this, if you compare this with C#, you have label control there, no doubt. But there's no literal control there. Windows Forms doesn't support literal control. There's nothing called literal control there. No. In place of that, you have link label control there. Link label, where you can communicate with applications and web pages or websites directly. Link label control. Okay. Now going further, I just create break line, break line. Now I want to create ASP colon button ID BTN show run at server text equal to show close break line. Okay, go back there. Yes, button is created. No doubt. Simple. Button is created. But now interesting. How server will make button control understand to browser? How? What does it make? Simple. execute the code, and you yourself check. But I have written ASP colon button control. I have written, and I mentioned the run at server. So it is server control. Means that is a control executed by web server, and web server responds to client, and it will make that server control understand to browser's terminology. And what is browser terminology is input type equal to submit. Yes. Server will make browser understand about server control, that is button server control, using what? Input type equal to submit, name equal to btn show, value equal to show, id equal to btn show. You got name also, you got id also, both of them are generated. But interesting thing is client will understand with one tag. So it's always preferred, like it's always best, I feel, to have these all, drawing in paintbrush and keep it ready, or you can do another way is that in for your instant reference, prepare a small, like a text pad content, or you can put it on a paper, so that tag, server tag, client tag, server tag, client tag. How does it make a difference? Easily you can make out. Reference point of view, I'm saying. Okay, that is input type equal to what? Sub. Now, you remember this? Still to go with properties. There are many properties for except but server control. Definitely, you'll have many properties. Go to design window. You can come from here. Right click properties. You have lots of things available. Foreground color, background color, font, border color. We'll write tooltip for this. Tooltip. Click here. Yes. Save. Run the code and put your cursor. You can experience that. Tooltip. Put your cursor on the button. Click here. Tooltip. Here tooltip added. Tooltip. Do you want to write something for your output also? You can go for it. Go to design window. Double click on the button. Yes. Click event. This is a new one for us. Exactly the same method which we used to have in C#. The same method is generated. But only thing is extension of the file is different. You want to get a message. Response dot write button got clicked semicolon. Button got clicked. But which event? Which event it is? Obviously server event, because this is an event attached to server control. So it is server event. Does it show you the code at runtime? Definitely not. Yes. Right click, click on show, right click. You said tooltip there. Here it shows title. Does it show you any code? Definitely not. No code, nothing. Right? Yeah, that's it. Still, we have a lot to focus on this